tough school to get into.
Not like U of I, but
Now, U of I, what are they famous for down there, man?
engineer.
Yeah, like computer shit.
We invented the internet, man.
Yeah, is that what it was?
Yeah.
You and Al Gore was teaching down there, right? Al Gore was
We
down
taught
there.
Al Gore about the internet.
Yeah.
So you know you live already somewhere?
Yeah,
You live already, you know that, right?
I know. This to give them they back behind the scenes. What did I do with my?
The what? At Mizzou? Really? Are they studying journalism?
There's a lot of black people that go to Mizzou. They got a lot of. Mizzou does a lot to attract black students. I got it. It is.
You know, you remember Kennedy, right?
Yeah. He said, "Do I remember Kennedy?"
Well, you know,
We introduced you to Kennedy.
Illinois has this exchange program or something like that with Mizzou. That if you qualify to go to the University of Illinois, that there's no space.
You get the behind the scenes.
You get to go to Mizzou for the same in-state price. And there's an exchange situation with Mizzou. Whereas if there's something in Illinois that you want, like this computer science stuff, like they got that big computer lab now they have there, that you can go to Illinois as a state rate. So it's an exchange. Illinois has that thing, they got that computer lab that Obama, the feds came up with.
Oh, Ricky, where your song at, man? I want to open up with the. Open up with that? Hey, I got a new song. I want to open up with the new intro.
That new song, man. But you a singer, man?
Nah, he's a rapper.
Rapper? What, a spoken word artist, as they call him?
I can do some spoken word right now.
I can do a spoken word as I walk through the door. I see my light as it snaps.
You got an email?
No, man, I forgot you on TV, man. I have to be very
right there.
dignified.
Sit in that chair. It's gonna be off
Come on,
camera.
man. The show, you know, I can't just be out
Right,
here
so he's doing-
clowning and stuff, man.
It's gonna be off camera.
Clowns.
Plug it up. Just off the back. Plug in there. This is the volume for right here. It's right here.
You can't send it to him via email so he can have it. So when we
Yeah,
can.
but since you also just try to play it right here.
Play it right now?
Yeah. Next time, yeah, send it to me also.
Right, we got some internets.
Y'all got some better lighting in here now, too, man.
Man, Earl was upgrading on us.
Right there. Yeah.
Man, this looks good, Earl. This looks good.
Let's see what I'm seeing in Capital Back Sound.
We just got Charles. Don't work up against two mates. We just got Charles. We got two
Very
guests.
interesting.
Say that
We got
again.
two guests and just Charles.
Just Charles.
Oh, you know, my man is that what's his name?
He just,
Was he on the political tip?
yeah,
He's campaigning?
yeah.
That's all right. Because I ain't campaigning, man. I am an independent.
You about to lose.
I'm an independent, man. You introduced me at that. I ain't no Republican either, man. Larry Mitchell called me a Republican, man, on Chicago Tonight last week, a couple weeks ago. You hear that?
What?
She said, "You sound like a Republican." I said, "Wait, what?"
He sound like he want to be free.
He said, "I ain't no Republican." Sorry, Liz, I didn't mean to say that when you walked in.
Hey, mic check, y'all.
Man, that didn't take long at all, man. That was a quick turn. Checker.
Oh, y'all don't mess with that check.
Mic check, y'all.
Oh, and there I am. How about my microphone?
That jackass
Mic all right.
nigga.
Do I need to keep this logo off?
Oh, do we need to come? We need. Hey man, Dunkin' Donuts. We need some advertising, homie. I need you to be a sponsor. We are going to be bringing people back up to speed. When last we left, Charles,
I'm good.
we were still trying to determine
Yes, sir.
who the nominees were going to be.
Of the party?
They hadn't accepted their speeches. They
Oh,
hadn't
really?
accepted.
Before we did that? Are you kidding?
So we've been off the air. So we've been off the air for a bit. How about since?
But what you gonna do about building your audience back? But you ain't gonna have nobody looking at
You
this.
crazy? Yeah, we are.
You
They ready?
They ready?
They
You
ready.
promoting?
They
Bill Ford's
Use
out
my
or something,
heirs
man.
and offer a 4-year scholarships. Hey, Madam President Bobby Steele, thank you very much for tuning in. We appreciate you.
Is Bobby Steele on?
Bobby Steele is on.
That's
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to need you to share the broadcast.
Up a little bit. That's good. Oh, that's good. You going with that? I know you ready.
We got 3 minutes. Ladies and gentlemen, we have 3 minutes to the broadcast. If you are watching on Facebook Live, I need you to share. Hey, bro. You know you can sit over there and not be in the thing, so you don't gotta be bunched up. You can even eat and all that good stuff. All right, microphone check 1 2. We got a new theme song. We got a new season. I got an old jacket, new for the show, right? I got I want them to turn on the tube and say, "What is going on with that, brother Mays Jackson?"
Brother
You know what I'm saying?
Got him a tablecloth.
Oh.
They got him a tablecloth.
Oh, you want to call my joint a tablecloth? I prefer to go with bandana.
He was down at the 50-yard
I
line.
wore this to
Getting ready to go
to Vegas.
stepping or something.
I went to Vegas for a fight. It
Yeah,
was
man.
my
Actually,
fight
you know what? He looks like a backup singer for the Manhattan.
Oh,
A
so
backup
Charles,
singer.
we joning?
We
We
joning.
joning
We
before
joning.
we get
We
started. You don't want to get started. You know what? I don't want to offend my. I don't even want to offend my guests.
Jukebug doesn't even know who the Manhattans is. Manhattans are.
What's
He's
up,
like
ladies
a
and
backup
gentlemen?
singer for the Manhattans. Woo!
Oh yeah, it's gonna be a good
It's
show.
gonna be a good show
It's
tonight.
gonna be a good
Woo! I
show.
hope they're watching it at ABC7.
Hey.
Is the show started yet?
The show is, but we are.
We're on Facebook
We're
Live,
on
though.
Facebook
Yes,
Live.
we are.
So we're not. We have about 2 minutes before.
Well, I
we
don't.
start.
You know, I'm glad to be here, man, because I think it's a lot of things we need to talk about. You know, a lot of things happening, man, since I was last year.
Man, it's been a while since you've been here. We'll talk about that and a
Yeah,
whole
we'll
bunch
talk
more.
about that.
Hey guys, if you out there tuned in, can you please share the video? Derek, are you sharing the video too?
Facebook
Oh,
Live.
once you do the video.
Bring it up.
All right. We want to make sure we share this. I'm gonna share this on the Mays Jackson page.
I'm definitely gonna. I now I know that this is a multimedia situation. You can see it, hear it, feel it, sense it, smell it. You can smell it. Smell it.
What is that? I smell it.
Y'all ready?
No,
Definitely.
we got less than a minute.
We got less than a minute, then we're on
I'm trying to get to my
Facebook
get
Live.
share.
Everything, man. I don't understand any of this stuff.
Sure.
Facebook Live, podcasts, all that. You know, I don't understand any of it, but I'm here. Mm-hmm. This is a new theme.
Turn it up just a little bit.
Okay, y'all ready? Stop it. Okay.
Start it to the beginning.
Okay, you can hit it now.
What's going on, bro?
There you go.
What's the steelo? Keep it real. I want it full price. Hold your deal. Let's chop it up quick. I gotta bust the move. Fact check the chatty patty sounding like fools. Tie around my neck, still take them all to school. Don't be fooled by the shiny looking dress shoes. On my 1-2s, get to my loo. I never done real love, I'm still got you. The kids still politically wrong. But gotta take it for my people, even if I'm wrong. But never that, I'm here to take my respect. You can try to shortchange the kid, no, get up coming for your neck. Let's talk real for a second with Mays Jack. Hold the creamer, I like my coffee straight black. They don't hear me though, they don't see the hustle, they just hear the flow. I guess that's why they still hating on the low. Better yet, I got the scoop, what you wanna know? What's in it for the black people though? Let's keep it real, I ain't for the scams. I'm too legit, you got a problem with it, you can tell them Mays say.
What's up, Chicago? It's your man Mays Jackson, and we are back in the building. We've been gone away for a minute, but we are back. It's the Mays Said video podcast. You have just heard our new theme song written by the intern Derek B in the building. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a minute, but we are back live and in the building, and I cannot tell you how excited I am to be back at Intellectual Radio. Now, you know I've always had a challenge with this Monday Night Football, but we are the Monday Night Football of politics. And to kick off the season, and kick off the brand new season premiere, ladies and gentlemen. Fresh off of punishment, I got my main man. Charles Thomas in the building. Charles Thomas, what's up, brother? How you feeling?
Man, look, it's so good to be back here. You know, I've really missed, you know, this conversation because this is a conversation that the community needs to have constantly. I see you've added things. I see Earl is hooked up, you know, intellectual radio. I see you got new lights. You got Junebug over there. You know, Junebug is a DJ. And man, Maze, I'm proud of you because you're growing.
Thank you, brother. We are growing. We are trying to expand our audience. We are really, you know, I think we've expanded. I think we've taken the concept of intellectual radio and expanded it in the political sense, Charles. You know, I think that oftentimes black folks, and I'm gonna be politically incorrect. I'm gonna let you be the straight guy. But black folks, right? Because I know they out there watching. Black folks need to have some honest dialogue in regards to our political situation and predicament.
Definitely, and you know, and I think that, you know, we can have an elevated discussion. There won't be any spirituals sung tonight. Not by this report.
And no preaching and
no preaching.
We talk the straight dope.
No proselytizing.
No proselytizing.
See,
now this is what I like about Charles. I get my vocabulary expanded.
Yeah, you know, we're gonna keep it even because we're gonna look at as many points of view as possible.
I think we should. I think that is the service that we are bound to give our community.
Absolutely.
So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I am happy to be back. Give us a call. 708-223-8953. It's Maze Jackson.
You know, they can call?
They can call. Charles, they can call.
This is amazing.
And they can talk to us. Now, you know, people don't tend to call because they like to comment on Facebook. Now, we are broadcasting live on Facebook as well, so we got the multi-sensory.
Facebook.
By the next show, I think we're going to have every video stream available so that we can be spreading our audience and sharing. But, Charles, let's catch up on what's been going on, man. I think before I left, we had you don't know this, but I took off about 3 months just to recharge and just to enjoy something.
How was it, man, in there?
It was good, man.
Yeah.
It was really good.
Did you get yard once a day or what?
Did I? Oh, Lord. Woo.
That was a joke. He didn't. Maze has been out. He's been fine. I was a joke, Maze.
I know I'm all good, man. You know how we do. So, Charles, when we left, Hillary and Donald Trump were the presumptive nominees.
Yes.
They were not the actual nominees.
Right. And there were a lot of talk about both of them.
There was
maybe not making it until November 8th.
Exactly. Since then, Donald Trump has become the nominee and has had a bombastic campaign. Hillary still seemed to have some trouble getting over the 50% mark. So we'll talk a little bit about that. Before we talked last, we were talking about the politics of Illinois. Ken Duncan was still in his seat. He's still in his seat, but he had not lost at that point. Since then, it was the most expensive House race in the state of Illinois' history.
Really, in history?
In the history of the state of Illinois. And so Ken lost that race, and so now we're moving forward. Still no budget.
Still no budget.
City of Chicago has passed a couple $1 billion in tax increases.
Well, maybe $500 million.
Half a billion new, but we're piled up about $2 billion over the last year.
New taxes.
New taxes with new services. Teachers are talking about striking.
Wow.
The Laquan McDonald, IPRA whole thing, and I'll stay. You know what? We'll stay away from that one. But they're just the Mayor Emanuel dynamic of what is going on in the political world of Chicago, and just all the dynamics. People talking about running for mayor. What's going on? So let's start with national politics.
Well, we have to sort of take the cars out of the train wreck and sort of rearrange them.
Okay.
Train wreck, is that a good way to?
Train wreck. So
Train wreck.
We
Political
have
train wreck.
the two. You know, I feel like we are living in a political. I don't want to say Armageddon. Maybe in a political purgatory right now, because I just feel like we're in this state of just stagnant.
You know, it takes a lot to dissect it. And I think you were on the right track there for a minute. I think you have to go level of government by level of government.
Right.
You just can't look at this whole thing.
Right.
If you want to start nationally and then go state and then go city or go city, state, now however you want to do it.
Let's do
I think
national.
National first?
Let's
Okay.
start with national and let's look at this, what I call the Donald Trump phenomenon.
Yes, definitely phenomenon.
No one 17 candidates ago thought that he would be in the final two. He was almost a character.
Well, I think a lot of it has to do with mathematics.
Okay.
The fact that there were so many candidates at the beginning allowed Donald Trump to corner the far right wing of the Republican Party and a few other folks, but the right wing of the Republican Party, that Tea Party wing, if you will, he took a lot of that and some other disgruntled people, and he formed a coalition of about 25 to 30% of the Republican universe, which is much smaller than the bigger political universe, but he cornered 25% of that primary vote and won some early primaries to establish himself as a front runner. And as other candidates of those 15 to 17, however many it was, began to fall off, his numbers would grow slightly, 30, 35%. But that was still enough, even when the field was reduced to a half dozen candidates, that 35% was still enough to maintain him as a front runner. And once the ball got rolling with the media, talking about Donald Trump all the time, I think that 35% basically provided a platform for him to win the nomination. And I think that's why he's the nominee. I think a lot of it had to do with pure mathematics and the fact that the Republican vote was so divided at the very beginning.
And so, but here we are now. And so, you know, I hear a lot of, and we'll talk about Hillary Clinton on the other side in a minute, but, you know, I keep hearing all of these theories of the Republican establishment is going to pull out from under them. They're not going to support them. They're not going to. Now, are we talking about the elites of the Republican Party? And is it all just the talking heads that are offended? And because I always have been taught that the Republicans come home.
Well, I mean, I think the mainstream of the Republican Party certainly has resisted the rise of Donald Trump right here in Illinois. I mean, Illinois is a place where I think the Republicans are more moderate or like to think of themselves as being moderates. They haven't gotten behind Donald Trump. The governor, for instance, Bruce Rauner, is no supporter of Donald Trump, at least certainly not publicly. Senator Mark Kirk, who is the highest ranking elected official, certainly statewide, who's on the national scene, he's no supporter of Donald Trump. Adam Kinzinger,
Right.
who is the congressman in northern and western part of the state, he's no supporter of Donald Trump. Bob Dole, who's the congressman in the 10th district, not supporter. A lot of Illinois moderate Republicans do not support Donald Trump, as well as some of the most renowned Republicans nationally. Mitt Romney, anti-Trump. The Bushes, anti-Trump. I mean, he's got a tough road to hoe in his own party. And I think it's bearing out. And I think that's going to hurt him in the general election because he doesn't have that kind of support.
So, do you think that Donald Trump is kind of peaked? He's probably.
What do I think?
Yeah. So tell me how you think this comes out.
I think he's peaked. Yes,
Okay.
I think he's peaked. Certainly, there's going to take, I think, to convince a lot of the independents, keep in mind there are third and fourth party candidates, if you will. There's Gary Johnson running as a Libertarian and Jill Stein as a Green Party candidate. But keep in mind, too, that they are not on the ballot in all 50 states. I know Ms. Stein is not.
Okay.
So that's going to be a problem electorally from the Electoral College point of view. But yeah, I think he's peaked at this point, and right now he's trying desperately to expand the party, and he has all of these issues that have come up that has stopped him from doing that.
So you believe? So how do you think these taxes affect them?
This what?
The taxes.
The tax issue?
The tax issue. So do you think the tax issue is?
I call that. You know, I don't want to brag.
Okay.
But I call that the morning after.
It's not bragging.
The morning after it happened, I said on Channel 7 that, boy, that issue has legs, because that fits the general Democratic Party narrative of the rich don't pay their fair share. They've been saying that. They say that here in Illinois. They say that in Chicago. They say it statewide. And they've said it nationally for the last 2 cycles, that the rich are not paying their fair share. Here's Donald Trump talking about all the billions of dollars that he has and what a great successful businessman he is. And the New York Times is reporting that it's likely that he has not paid federal income tax for 18 years. Come on now.
Man, that's terrible. But it seems like something everybody would love to do.
I mean, because people, we fight that tax man every year. The average American fights that tax man. And now here's this guy, the living embodiment of this bad guy that the Democrats always talk about, is running for president, and you actually have a chance to go to that voting booth and say, absolutely not. And I think a lot of Democrats are going to be motivated to do that. Now add that to the Latinos that he's offended in his campaign with this whole business of the wall. Add that to the women he is offended by referring to certain women as pigs and such. And you start to see this huge coalition forming against Donald Trump. And how can he grow that 35-40% I talked about a few minutes ago into a majority in some of these states? It's going to be very difficult for him.
It will be a very difficult path. Speaking of taxes, and this is where you'll be the straight man and I'll be not the straight man.
Okay.
So, it seems like Donald Trump had an accomplice in Illinois in not paying taxes. I believe that I think it's the business of the chairman of the Democratic Party of Illinois, as well as the chairman of the Finance Committee of City Council, to help rich people beat the taxes.
Well, there's property taxes.
Taxes are taxes after a certain point, brother. To me, taxes are taxes. So I do understand that, but I think it all goes to the whole point of thwarting taxes, because no one wants to pay. That's why you go to H&R Block, so you can get the biggest return.
Absolutely.
Right? You want to get your money back, and so typically when you get a return, you pay too much taxes.
Well, but it's different.
Okay, so why is it different?
I'll tell you why it's different.
Okay.
Because you're talking about Donald Trump didn't pay any taxes. I mean, zero. And what Mike Madigan and Ed Burke do is reduce the tax bill. And Joe Barrios also I don't think he was involved in a law firm, but he is the assessor.
So he gets to set the lower price.
He's connected to the Democrats, who are the chairman of the Finance Committee and the party chairman, and he's the Cook County Democratic chairman, and he's the assessor. Oh, man.
And so then what happens is they have people that come to pay them. Rich people. Like Bruce Rauner was, I think, a client of the chairman of the Democratic Party when it came to
I
taxes.
know nothing about
Okay,
that.
so just so we're clear, Donald Trump pays Illinois Democrats to pay Illinois less taxes.
What Donald Trump does?
Donald Trump does.
See, I don't know that.
The property tax.
I realize that Donald Trump.
So Trump
has
Tower,
his name on a very big building downtown.
$11 million tax savings. It was reported by Dan Mihalopoulos in the Chicago Sun Times. So it's just, it's just a very. It's just so You know, I find it's like
Incestuous.
It's a very incestuous relationship. But enough of Donald Trump, because I feel like that's really the problem. The problem is all we've talked about is Donald Trump. I don't think that Donald Trump really even had to run any commercials until the last 3 months, because he gets all the free earned media.
Well, I think he says a lot of outrageous things that, I mean, they can cut both ways. Yeah, he gets a lot of media, but it's also things that he says that perhaps have alienated a lot of voters from him, as well as things he said that may have attracted many voters. So I think it might be a wash in that regard.
Got it. You are tuned in to the May Said video podcast right here on WWW Intellectual Radio. We are an iHeart radio station. We are on every Monday from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. I am live in the studio with my guest, the Charles Thomas. Mr. Thomas, you have been my friend. Someone that I look up to and admire in the journalistic world, as well as just a brother that has done a very good job of providing positive insights and impacts, or providing positive perspective to our community, for our community, and always being fair and balanced. So I want to just make sure we appreciate that.
Thank you.
Now let's talk about Hillary Clinton, and let's not spend too much time on that, because we've heard ad nauseum. What's her problem? What is the problem?
Problem?
Yes.
Well, I mean, I think a lot of people are saying that she is dishonest, and they're using examples of incidents from her past that would suggest some dishonesty or being less than truthful in her conduct of her offices that she's held and her estate as a Secretary of State. And they point to this whole business of her having used a private email server as opposed to the government server when she conducted business. And so we don't know what's personal and what's governmental. And there's a confusion there. There's also, when they did the investigation, they found that some 33,000 emails had been purged or disappeared, so to speak. But that could happen because you just clean your server every now. I don't know.
Right. You just
But there's this perception that I think that a lot of her political enemies have certainly, they've tried to do it, and she has this image where she's somewhat less than honest. They talk about her having had this private server, and she has apologized for that, saying, I did the wrong thing, I should not have done that, I will never do anything like that again. What has not been revealed is what was in the emails that were on the server. Now, I think that if you, just as a reporter, you show me what was in the emails that might be indictable or damning, if you will, that could really bite her in a big way. So far, we haven't heard of or seen anything like that would, I think, affect her being president or her legal standing, if you will.
Okay.
I haven't seen that yet. All we know is that she had this server and that she shouldn't have been using it. But what's on the emails? And with all this hacking that's going on in this world today, the DNC got hacked, the Illinois Board of Elections got hacked. You've heard it. Google got hacked, or Yahoo got hacked. Yahoo got hacked.
If Yahoo got hacked,
okay.
Everybody.
So what if somebody hacked her server and they found something on the server, some email to somebody about something that might suggest some criminality or something else? That could be a problem for Hillary Clinton. I think that's the shoe that hasn't dropped yet, if it's going to drop. And I think that could be what could really be devastating to her campaign, just as this tax story has been so devastating to Donald Trump.
Charles, that's pretty juicy, man.
Well, but we don't know. I haven't seen it yet. I'm just kind of waiting.
We gotta watch and wait. Now, what was interesting was today, Mr. WikiLeaks was supposed to make an announcement, but out of fear for safety,
Who's safe?
his safety, it was postponed. Now, according to somewhere I read in social media,
Be
there
careful.
was right, 'cause you know it's
Social
real
media.
if you believe it in social media.
Gotta be careful with that.
But somewhere I was reading, the reason that he was pulled back was fear of safety, and because there was an ill-timed tweet from a Donald Trump supporter that said that his announcement would bury Hillary. So it was very interesting. Will be interesting to watch that and much more. You are tuned into the May Said Video Podcast right here. It's our season premiere with Charles Thomas. Now, as I like to do when we're on Facebook Live, I like to make sure that we give some love to all the people that are out there. But before I give you any love, I need everybody to take a moment to share the video. Shout out to Vera Warner. How are you? Thank you very much. What's up to Lisa London? What's up, Paco? What's up, Willie Fleming? Let's see who we got out there. Claudia Gunther, Mike Anthony. What's up, Bolingbrook? Lionel Martin, Alex Felton, Lisa London, Willie Fleming, June Hill Virgo. Roman Morrow, what's up, Roman? Roman is an intellectual host here. He's at the 5 o'clock drive. DeAndre Lil, Big Fella Butler, Charlie Dominique, Mark Allen, and to my beautiful wife, Commissioner Carrie Steele. Earl, you watching, that's cheating, man. You right here in the studio. And we got Sean John in the building, too. We are doing our thing live. Now, if you're out there and you are watching us live on Facebook, show us some love. Give us a share. Give us a like. Give us a love. You know, let us know let us know that you're listening, that you're enjoying the show. All right. Charles, we spent the first big chunk of this show talking about national politics, but let's get somewhere close that's near and dear to my heart.
What's that?
State
Oh,
politics.
I love state politics.
You know, I love state
That's
politics.
my favorite.
Now, you know, tell me what you think. So, give me your assessment of state politics right now.
Man, you know, when I think state politics, I think about, you know, something you say. What's in it for the black folks? You know, and I gotta go there because I just read that story last week about Chicago State University admitting just 86 freshmen in this fall, and how that's death, Lee. That's a death warrant for that institution, and the president having just resigned or quit or been fired or whatever happened to him, and this guy was supposedly this great hope for the university. And when you have 86 freshmen enrolled, that's it. I mean, it's only a matter of time before Chicago State, which is the historically black college of Illinois, when you see it going down like that, is very troubling. But what's even more troubling is that I did not hear one elected African American voice of concern or protest. I didn't see that person, those state reps and state senators, getting involved and expressing the kind of outrage that should be expressed. Now, you correct me if I'm wrong, because I think I pay attention. I just haven't heard the level, the decibel level is just not there of outrage, and it concerns me deeply because that's something that hits home. That's a state institution that hits home, and where is it?
So, with the Chicago State situation, you know, I think that in the broad sense, that is the black university.
Yes.
Let's just be clear.
Mm-hmm.
They would never allow that to happen to Northeastern Illinois
Absolutely.
University, because that's the Mexican school. Excuse me, that is the predominantly Latino school. They would never allow it to happen to Notre Dame. Matter of fact, Chicago State is getting run out of business with Notre Dame vendors and contractors who won't send their kids to
I know
school.
you've done a lot of work in that regard, much more than I have. But you know, you can compare it to anything. It's just a black community institution, and it is going to go up in flames first. As far as collateral damage from this budget situation is concerned, it goes down. I mean, listen to me. You can also look at the Chicago Public Schools, which is 90% black and brown.
Come on.
I mean, 90% of the children who attend the Chicago Public Schools are black and brown. But we have this conversation that goes on statewide where you don't see any of these African American elected officials involved in the conversation, saying absolutely not will you do this to my children, to the children of my community, and also the Latino state lawmakers who are.
Well, they got their own schools. See, what they did was they said, y'all have it. We gonna get our own money, build our own schools.
They made the UNO piece. I got you, but at the same time, you have the collateral damage of this budget stalemate. You know, disproportionately now affecting black people and brown people, particularly though black people. We are taking the hit, and what are our elected officials doing about it? Now, the aldermen, when something happens in the city, I see the black aldermen actually react, and I see them start jawboning the situation at least. But here at the state level, I hear nothing from these people, and they always tell me, "Oh, we're behind the scenes. We're doing it in private. We're done." You know. See, I'm not into doing it in private. I'm a reporter.
But you can't do it in private if you're the public elected official.
Thank you.
If you are
I
elected
know
to
that.
protect the
But
public.
that's what they say. That's the line that I get.
But
constantly.
because there's the boogeyman on the other side, which is big bad governor, Republican bad,
Well, they
it's going
use
to
that.
tell you
That-
that if you talk to the
they
bad
use that.
Republican governor,
Who can't do anything, who doesn't do anything because he can't do anything. But the fact of the matter is that whether it's him, whether it's the leadership of the Democratic Party in Illinois, but whomever it is, African Americans are taking the biggest part of the hit. They're taking the collateral damage. It's like we are Aleppo.
so who?
You know what I mean? The black community is Aleppo.
You did not say the black community
The black
is Aleppo.
community in Illinois is Aleppo.
Charles Thomas, Rich Miller, because I know you watching. Charles Thomas said the black community is Aleppo. Here's the deal. What do we do, Charles? Why are we in this predicament if
You know, I'm looking at it right now just in terms of the damage, collateral damage. I don't know if I certainly haven't done it on this show because I haven't been here, but I'm saying this all the time to folks because it was one of the most underreported stories of the last month, and that is the Economic Policy Institute report that was delivered in August. In August. Now, the Economic Policy Institute is Richard Trumka's group. He is the national chairman of the AFL-CIO. On his board is Alexis Herman, Robert Reich, Randy Weingarten, the UAW president,
okay.
Lee Saunders, who runs AFSCME nationally. This is the big labor think tank in these United States. They issued a report on African American unemployment, comparing all 50 states.
Mm-hmm.
Guess who was number one in African American unemployment from the Economic Policy Institute?
Georgia?
No.
How about California?
No.
Texas?
No. Try Mississippi.
How about Alabama?
No.
How about
Mississippi?
Louisiana?
No.
Where?
Illinois has the highest African American unemployment rate in these United States. We live here. And we got black folks in state government who can control, if they wanted to, if they had.
Because don't they got the numbers?
Yes,
I think we have the largest number of black
they are
elected
sitting
officials.
here, and these people
are in office, and they have allowed Illinois to be #1. I said this one time about, I was talking about these so-called right-to-work zones or somebody. I was talking about it with the mayor of Chicago, and he said, "Oh, we can't have that." I said, "But they would put them in these neighborhoods and have these horrible unemployment rate." He said, "Oh, we can't have that because we don't want to get involved in the race to the bottom with these."
We at the bottom.
We won. It's like we running around the arena with the Illinois flag, like they did in the Olympics. The Illinois flag. We won. We won the race to the bottom. We are the worst in the country, and people wonder, why do we have this horrible homicide rate? Why do we have this stuff going on? Because we have the #1. It's harder to get it. It is 2.5, according to these numbers from the Economic Policy Institute, it is 2.5 times more difficult to get a job in Illinois than it is to get a job for a black person. To get a job in Texas. Texas is
Texas where Sandra Bland.
Yeah, Texas has the lowest African American unemployment rate in the country.
Can I tell you? I can tell because black people be moving to
Woo!
Texas.
Don't they be moving to Texas?
Look, even after everything that I have seen that has happened, black folks are like, I'm going to Texas.
I'm going to Texas. What's going on in Texas? That's not happening here. What's going on in Texas, folks? I don't know.
And Texas don't have, they're not Democratic ruled, are they?
Well, I don't care what they are.
Well, my question is,
I'm not. Well, I mean, Texas is Republican kind of red state.
Comparison.
So
here, and I want to make the comparison, Charles. And the reason I asked that question is because we are unquestionably loyal in Illinois, even across the country, to the party. To the Democratic Party.
We are in Illinois in particular.
And Illinois particularly, and you will be branded a sellout of Uncle Tom. You will be. This is. You be straight man. You stay a straight man. I'm gonna do math.
Okay.
So, for all of it, the sum total is we are still the worst off. We are worst off with our education.
Mm-hmm.
We are worst off with our unemployment.
Mm-hmm.
We used to be the black millionaire capital of the world.
Check it out, man. 100 years after the Great Migration from the South to Illinois, to the land of Lincoln. Now the land of Lincoln is, oh man, now brothers is going the other direction from here.
The great Look, I've been talking about resegregation. We going back.
Man, it's amazing. It's just amazing. But what I'm saying, we have a political system where the party in charge here, they don't want to hear that number. Whenever I say it, places like this, and I've said it in much larger venues, they gonna, what are we gonna do?
But does anybody ask the question, like, so what do the party leaders say? Like,
they don't say anything. They hide that. And it's their own guys, the left-center Democratic-controlled Economic Policy Institute, that's reporting those numbers. Those are Democratic numbers. I bet a Republican with an agenda, they might come up with worse employment numbers for Illinois. Those are from
the people that's supposed to be hooking them up. Ladies and gentlemen, you are tuned in to the May Said video podcast right here on www.
Google Economic Policy Institute and look at their numbers. Tell you they're all
Google Economic Policy Institute. Look at the black
August
unemployment
18th numbers.
August 18th numbers. I'm gonna Google.
Third quarter in a row, we led the nation. Third quarter in a row that we led the nation. No, this is a pervasive, continuing problem.
So how do we get this addressed?
Well, I tell you one way you get it addressed. Tell you one way. Go downtown. I live downtown. That's right. I live downtown, y'all. I'm sorry. That's a confession.
Hey, man, I'm trying to get back.
Okay, now check it out. Go downtown, and I want you to look at any of those cranes. There must be 50 of them down there. They're building stuff down there like you wouldn't believe it. Look underneath the crane. See how many people look like Mays Jackson who are working on these construction sites. There could be 50, 100 guys working on one of these buildings. See how many look like Junebug, look like you. And you won't see, you see virtually none. And these are your skilled trades unions that are not hiring African Americans
in anywhere near the proportion that we exist in this region. I'm not saying the city, I'm saying the region. We're about 17, 18%
I
of
always
all
see
people.
Indiana license plates.
Oh, you know you do. And you see suburban license plates, but you do not see black men working on these jobs. They act like, well, you got to go to school, you got to be trained. Like, you got to get a brain. Like, these aren't brain surgeons.
You
these
know how the
guys working-
pipeline works. Can I tell you how the pipeline works?
Yeah.
So I can educate our listeners. Now, first of all, this is why they call this intellectual radio. www.intellectualradio.com. We are an iHeart radio station. You are watching the Maze Said video podcast season premiere featuring my main man, Charles Thomas, and we are giving you some education. Now, Charles, I just want to talk about this pipeline because I just need to break this down for our listening audience. So, black folks, what happens in the grand scheme of things is there is a pipeline to a steady stream of city, county, and state jobs that we are not in that pipeline. So if you go to a school on the southwest side of Chicago, maybe a Catholic school, you'll go to school and they'll tell you to graduate from school and go to college for 2 years. But as soon as you graduate, you fill out that application to work at the city, whether you want to be a city worker, to work at the union, to work at the police department, work at the fire department. You do your 2 years, then you're going to get a call from one of those agencies. You get blessed into the union, you got an $80,000 a year job going up, and that's how you build and maintain the communities. We are completely locked out of that system. So when you look at the Catholic high schools, they are a feeder. Look at how many police officers went to Mount Carmel. Look at how many people.
Well, yeah, I'm feeling you, and I don't know the quantitative, empirical proof of what you say, but all I can do is look at these construction sites. I was at one on Chicago Avenue where they're building a brand new shopping center. The mayor was there and such, and I looked at it and I counted heads. And I saw maybe 2 out of maybe 75 guys working on this building with the hard hats, and they're doing any number of different types of jobs. But you know what really distresses me?
What?
The last 2 times that Rahm Emanuel won election as mayor, in 2011 and 2015, he won election because he beat Gary Chico in 2011, and he beat
Chuy Garcia.
Chuy Garcia in
Do we see a pattern here?
Almost had a brain cramp there. Anyway, he beat them because he won nearly 60% of the African American vote in both elections. But check it out. Where did he have his election night party celebration?
What was it?
The Plumbers Union Hall. The notorious plumbers who have. You can count.
Hey, look.
plumbers
Now let me
on
just,
2 hands.
Charles.
Right,
So,
black plumbers on 2. I mean, like that's cold-blooded though. Here you are, the black folks elected you. You wouldn't have won had you not got. If he had got 40% of the black vote, he would not be mayor. He'd be working in Washington somewhere. But he won 59%, and then he's going to have his party at this union that has had this horrific record in hiring black people or sending black people to sites to work. I mean, Ron, think it over, man. Like, I don't know this. Like, I don't know what's going on, and I don't think he knows. Because I will give him this much credit.
okay.
When it's a public project, Ron has actually done a heck of a job in making sure that black folks get out there and get themselves some construction jobs. Like on the Red Line. I would drive down. I was driving to church one Sunday morning on the Rhine, and I was looking at all these guys working on the Red Line in the middle. Man, it looked like a Tarzan movie out there.
Did he say a Tarzan movie?
Look, I'm telling you, there were a lot of black folks out there working. So it says to me that, hey, we can do this work. We have people who are skilled enough to go out there and work on the railroad, I don't know, the laborers, whatever they were, but we got people
who want to do this work. But on these private jobs, and Ron makes sure that you get yourself, that black people are working on these public jobs, like CTA jobs. But on the private jobs,
But see, and the challenge with the private jobs, and this is not to make an excuse, is these guys got a system, and if you don't take any government money and you own the land, then it's the old boys network, and they
but check it
gonna
out.
block you out.
Is racial discrimination against the law? I know you're not a lawyer, but you're a lawyer, Junebug?
Yep, sir.
No, I don't think Earl is either.
Racial discrimination is against the
That's
law.
what I thought. 1964 Civil Rights Act or something like that. So I want to ask this: if these skilled trades unions have been doing this for 40 years, why hasn't the United States Attorney put together a case?
Because the president of the union is who's gonna be writing the checks to elect the president.
But you know what I'm
They
saying?
gonna get that. Hey, homie.
But I'm saying
you
that
gonna get removed.
if there's supposedly if you violate someone's civil rights, then you can be prosecuted for that. If these skilled trade unions don't hire African Americans and historically have not done it, that sounds, I'm not a lawyer, it sounds like a RICO case to me.
Nah, see, it's a few RICO cases around here that could be had.
I mean,
around
I don't
Illinois.
understand why I don't see any black men working on these jobs.
That's not criminal, but Rob
It
McGuire
was
did that 14 years.
Saturday morning, a couple of Saturday mornings ago, they were repaving this Randolph Street between Macy's and City Hall. And I actually stopped, it was 9 o'clock in the morning, and I counted. They had some company out there, it was called Mead Electric or something like that, and they had another company out there. They had all these guys out there working, and I counted. I saw one, it was 75 guys out there, by the way, at least.
Okay.
I saw one black guy.
Did he have the flag?
Yes, he did. He had the flag, man.
He had the flag.
And this is a city job.
He get $35 an hour for that
these
flag.
are contracted jobs. I mean, they contract these companies to go do this work. But man, I didn't see.
But and that's funny because they mandate that they pay a certain wage.
But they also.
So we can't get. So if you can mandate that they pay a certain wage, can you mandate that they hire
I would
from
think,
the neighborhood?
Well, you know,
or
when
from the
Bruce
community?
Rauner became governor, in his very first executive order, he said, "I want the unions to report to me how many minorities are in their apprentice programs." I don't know what came of that. And it's something I need to, as a reporter, check into to find out, well, what happened, Governor? Maybe he's been so consumed by this budget impasse that he hasn't been able to work on that. But very first executive order that Bruce Rauner issued, the day after he was inaugurated, was, I want an investigation of the unions, the skilled trade unions, to find out who they are training and why. If they want to continue to work for the state, they're going to have to show me some results. Show me what they're doing.
But that would be anti-American. He is against. It's the race to the bottom, man. Oh, I forgot. We already at the bottom.
We already at the bottom, and black folks are at the bottom. Like I said.
Wait, are we below? So are we less than the Latinos?
We are.
Are we? So again, I'll be the straight. You be the straight guy. So on the totem pole, officially, in Illinois, it goes the people that have the least melanin to the people that have the most melanin.
Well, I'm just trying.
That's the ranking in reverse order. We are at the bottom of the totem pole.
You got your Mississippi, Alabama here, and you got your Illinois here.
How is it possible that black people are doing worse in Illinois than Mississippi?
Employment-wise, that's what the Economic Policy Institute says.
I can't read what that said. Wait, so I don't know how we fix this, Charles. So who's gonna ask the question? And so what happens when you ask black people the question? Because I know you ain't getting this answer from the white folks.
Right. And to be honest with you, as a reporter who works in mainstream media, it's very difficult for me to sell these stories. I mean, because I want to sell these stories
and it's very difficult for me to sell these stories. I got to deal with the more universal themes,
Right.
because I am the political reporter for a station that covers a lot more than black folks.
Yes.
I can come here
Right.
with you and talk black folks, but when I go back to work, I mean, I got to think big. I got to think about what is the issue that the most people are concerned about. And to be honest with you, the vast majority of people in the Chicago metro area are not interested in the fact that they don't hire black people at these construction sites. They're not. They just aren't. I mean, they
be as much as to say, tell them to stop killing each other.
And believe me, it's not that I'm calling them racist, because they are not. They just deal with their own lives. They deal with their own lives. I mean, they don't get up in the morning and shave and say, well, what black person am I going to mess with today? No, they don't do that.
Right.
They guys doing it.
It's apathy.
It's not even apathy. It's just that if we don't control our message, and that's what you try to do with this podcast, and that's why I try to help you out doing it, folks, that if we don't control our own message, then it will never be told. Now, you know, like, I don't know that Ron understands how offensive it is for him to have his party at a place that doesn't hire us. I don't think he knows that. But now maybe he knows that if we're able to tell him that in this kind of venue.
Somebody's gonna tell them off of this.
Somebody's gonna tell him, man.
Because they watch
You know, next time, have your party at the Parkway Ballroom.
at the park,
Thank
and
you.
for more reasons than one at the
Yeah.
Parkway Ball.
I mean, you know.
For more reasons than one. Hey, Charles, I want to make sure we give some shout outs to some of the people that are out there. You are tuned into the May Said video podcast with my special guest, Charles Thomas, for the season premiere. Before we go now, we got a few more minutes, so Charles, I'm going to circle back because I want you to think about, I want to talk about the concentration of black power. Spread it out. How do we spread the influence of the black political power outside of Hyde Park? But we'll talk about that in a second. All right. So you got Greg Granite. What up to Greg Granite? Helen Tyner, what's up? I appreciate you. Earl Winfrey. Earl, you cheating, man. You right here. What's up to C. Sadiq Colquitt? What's up, Chauncey? Jeff Eaton, all the way representing from U of I. Thimby. What's up? Hey, man, I still love Bob, man. Zimbabwe, baby. What's up, VB? Vince Bass in the building. Derek Bryant. What's up, Junebug? That's the author of our new theme song. What's up, Tennille Jackson? Tennille, you got to get up with Charles. Mark Allen, DeMaze Jackson Page, Gloria Pittman. What's going on in the 5th Ward? Gloria, to my beautiful and lovely wife, the Commissioner Carrie Steele, who is watching and studying. I want to thank you all. Everybody, take a chance. Do me a favor. Share the video. Share the podcast. All right. So, Charles, we talked state. We talked city. Last thing we're going to touch on is the county. So, the county. What's going on in the county, man?
You know,
What's going on in Cook County politics? It seems like there was been, I was looking at the Tim Evans thing, a whole bunch.
Yeah.
Seems like there's been some muscle flexing, some new alliances being created, people trying to figure out, what's going on? What's going on?
I thought I had my arms around this after the Tim Evans thing. And I know that the president is a contender. The president is in a powerful position. Speaking of President Preckwinkle.
Okay.
And she genuinely wants to change the criminal justice system.
Okay.
And I think she made a move with Kim Foxx, huge move, huge step. I think the timing, the stars were perfectly aligned for her, and she was able to do that. And I think this move with Judge Allen, Tom Allen, to try to become the chief judge, had a two-pronged kind of meaning. The one prong was, I think that President Preckwinkle definitely wanted to get one of her people or somebody else in place because she's had her issues with...
But Tom Allen?
Okay. Well, because that's who was there, and that's who could get the support. And I think that was what's interesting about that is when you talk about the criminal justice system in Cook County being thoroughly controlled by black folks, and you got you have the chief judge,
The chief judge, the state's attorney.
you have the state's attorney, you have the county board president, and you have the clerk. All you have left is the sheriff, who is, you know,
Kind of like a.
well, you know,
Right.
he's kind of a guy that I think can. He said, you know, if you listen to what Tom Dart says about his jail and about criminal justice, you gotta like the guy.
Yeah, see,
Yeah,
I always
listen
feel
to
like, is it?
But listen to him. Listen to what he says. He talks about his jail being loaded up with people that don't belong there. And if Tom Dart was named Willie Johnson, you could believe everything. He could say the same thing that Tom Dart says, and you would say, hey.
But you'd also have to just remember the whole entire. I mean, it's like I get you. We got 3 minutes, so you gotta wrap it for me. So tell me what you think happens, Charles.
Well, I mean, I think that I'm the straight man. Remember?
All right, so
I'm the straight man.
You're the straight
So I'm
man.
not gonna go there. You
Well,
know?
here's what I'm seeing. You know, as I looked at the, you know, my biggest concern with the Tim Evans situation is, and I first of all, I admire Madam Preckwinkle for all of her desire to change the criminal justice system, and I have no doubt of her sincerity. I've heard her talk about it on numerous occasions, but I don't know that Tom Allen would have had the best interest of our community long term, even if it was a great short term.
But you know, when you see that all these black folks are now in power positions in Cook County, you know, there's a reason for that. The black middle class has moved to the suburbs. The voting power in Cook County is in Thornton Township, Rich Township, Bloom Township, Proviso Township. That's where the votes are. Nobody's conceding anything when Tony Preckwinkle or John Stroger becomes county board president, for that matter even Ty. This is because that's where the black vote power is today. It's in the suburbs. And I think what you're seeing from people who are in the establishment, they're concerned about all these black folks taking over.
Black folks taking over. It's what I love to hear. It's your man, Maze Jackson. You are tuned into the Maze Said Video Podcast right here on WWW Intellectual Radio. We are an iHeart radio station. I want to thank my special guest, my main man, Charles Thomas, for coming in today. Man, we had a great conversation. This is where you come to learn. You know, we're going to have us a political science class. You know, I think we should have a political science class so we can stop being eluded and, you know, we got to look through and start representing our own interests. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to encourage you to tune in every Monday night from 8 to 9 right here, www.intellectualradio.com. We are an iHeart radio station. You can catch the podcast tomorrow. You can also watch this on my Facebook page, and we'll have it uploaded to YouTube as well. All right, we're closing out with our new theme song. Go ahead, Derek B. That went fast. That was good.
That was a good show, man. That was a good show. That was a good show, man. That was a good show, man. That was a good show. Look out, man. Oh, man, what you doing, man? What you good there talking about, man?
I don't have no equal on the radio at all.
I don't know, man.
I have no equal. I don't know, man. When you got Supreme Wisdom,